Japan may not be the biggest exporter by volume, but global supply chains still break when Japan slows down. From automotive parts to semiconductors and advanced materials, Tokyo sits at the heart of critical global flows. Why is Japan still so indispensable? From the smartphone in your pocket to the car in your driveway, there's a hidden giant quietly powering it all, and that giant is Japan. While we often hear about manufacturing shifting to other countries, the truth is, the world still deeply depends on Tokyo's industrial might. Today, we're diving deep into Japan's supply chain power and why, even in 2025, it remains absolutely indispensable. Let's rewind a bit. After World War II, Japan performed an economic miracle. Companies like Toyota, Sony, and Panasonic became household names, synonymous with quality and innovation. This era cemented Japan's reputation as a manufacturing powerhouse, but as globalization accelerated, many believed Japan's dominance would fade. Production costs rose, and countries like China and South Korea emerged as formidable competitors. For a while, it seemed like the sun was setting on Japan's industrial empire. But here's the twist: Japan didn't disappear, it evolved. Instead of competing on mass production of finished goods, Japanese companies masterfully shifted their focus upstream. They chose to dominate the most critical, complex, and high-tech components that no one else could easily make. They went from making the entire TV to making the indispensable parts inside every TV. This strategic pivot is the secret to their enduring relevance. Let's look at some mind-blowing examples. Take the semiconductor industry. You might think of companies from the US or Taiwan, but Japan is the undisputed king of essential materials and equipment needed to make those chips. Companies like Shin-Etsu Chemical and Sumco control a massive portion of the global market for silicon wafers, the foundational disks upon which all microchips are built. Without these perfectly pure, flawlessly flat wafers from Japan, the entire global semiconductor industry would grind to a halt. It doesn't stop there. Think about the screen you're watching this on. Whether it's an OLED on a premium smartphone or a large LCD TV, chances are it uses specialized materials, films, and manufacturing equipment from Japanese firms. They are the masters of the invisible, yet vital, layers that create the vibrant images we see every day. Now let's talk about cars, especially electric vehicles. Everyone's talking about the EV revolution, but what powers these cars? Batteries. And who dominates the critical components for those batteries? You guessed it, Japan. Companies like Panasonic are not just major battery manufacturers. Japanese firms are also leading producers of key battery materials like cathodes and separators. As the world transitions to electric mobility, this dependency on Japanese technology is only set to grow. Even in cutting-edge robotics and factory automation, Japan leads the way. Companies like Fanuc and Yaskawa Electric produce the high-precision robots that assemble everything from iPhones to Teslas in factories all over the world. They are building the machines that build our modern world. So, while a product might say made in China or assembled in Vietnam, it's often built by Japanese robots using Japanese components. So what does this all mean from a global logistics and economic standpoint? It means Japan holds a unique and powerful position. They are not just another link in the supply chain. They are often the source. This creates what economists call a choke point. If Japan's production is disrupted, say, by a natural disaster or a policy change, the shockwaves are felt globally, affecting industries far and wide. We saw a glimpse of this after the 2011 earthquake, when auto production lines around the world had to slow down due to a shortage of a specific paint pigment made by a single Japanese company. This strategic dependency gives Japan immense, yet subtle, economic leverage. While it may not have the largest GDP, its control over these critical choke points makes it an irreplaceable player in the global economy. Countries and corporations can't simply design out Japan from their supply chains because the level of precision, quality, and accumulated knowledge, the Takumi spirit of craftsmanship, is incredibly difficult to replicate. So what does the future hold? Looking ahead to 2026 and beyond, Japan's influence is poised to strengthen, not weaken. The global push for more resilient and diversified supply chains, a trend called friend-shoring, actually benefits Japan, as Western countries look to reduce their reliance on single-source suppliers in geopolitically sensitive regions. They are turning to trusted, stable, and technologically advanced partners. Japan is at the top of that list. We're already seeing this play out. Major investments are being made to build new semiconductor fabs in Japan, with government support and international collaboration. This is a clear signal that the world is doubling down on Japan as a secure and reliable hub for high-tech manufacturing. Furthermore, Japan is not standing still. They are leading research and development in next-generation technologies. Think solid-state batteries, which promise to revolutionize EVs with faster charging and longer range, or advanced materials for hydrogen fuel cells and carbon capture. As the world grapples with climate change and the need for sustainable technology, Japan is positioning itself to supply the core components for the green revolution. Their strategy is a masterclass in long-term thinking. Instead of chasing short-term gains in low-margin assembly, Japan has cultivated an ecosystem of innovation focused on high-value, hard-to-replicate technologies. They have made themselves the special ingredient that everyone needs but few can create. In conclusion, the story of Japan's supply chain power is not one of fading glory, but of smart evolution. They traded the spotlight for leverage, the visible for the vital. By mastering the art of the indispensable component, Japan has ensured that even as the world changes, it will continue to run on Japanese innovation. The next time you pick up a piece of advanced technology, remember the hidden giant behind it. The world may look to many places for manufacturing, but for the most critical technology that powers our future, all roads still, in many ways, lead to Tokyo. Thank you so much for watching. What other hidden economic giants do you think are out there? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you won't miss our next video. See you next time.